Hi, my name is Paul Church from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. Today I'd like to show you our Nested Doodle Frame It die collection. What are they, I hear you ask? Let me show you. It's a collection of two different shapes. We have our circles and we have our squares. Each of the shapes are available in three different options and they have three different purposes. Let's have a look at the circle in a little bit more detail. So the first one is our nested circle frame its frames. And what that does, it's one beautiful design that gives you 10 individual intricate frames. By passing this through the machine in one go, you're going to get all of this, whether you use it on plain cardstock or whether you use it on coloured cardstock or designer paper, you're going to get some fantastic results. So that's the frames element. Then we have what we call our aperture framets. Now these are available in two different sets. We've got one that's called the circle heart and one that's called the circle scallop. So it's the same designs that come from the framets, but they've been just split into two different sets. And what they do is they embed within your card blank. So it creates a luxury looking aperture frame. So let's have a look at these in, I've got some cards here that I've sort of just die cut just to show what I mean. So for example, if we look at this one here, I've taken this particular die and just die cut straight onto a card blank, adding that touch of luxury to your finished artwork. We've got the next one there, which is the next one up. Then we have the next one. Again, they look different depending on what color card blank you use. Then we have this one here. Now, it doesn't matter what size card blank you use, it just gives you this beautiful aperture frame. There we go, and the final one is the heart. So how do they work? Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the square set. So let's pop the circles to one side, and I'm going to show you this one here that gives you all of those 10 frames in one pass. Okay, so it's one nice big die. Now for me, what I tend to do, I've been using dies for many years, and I find if I take a tumble dry sheet and just wipe over the die, what that does, it just allows the card or the paper to release that little bit more easily. Okay, so now we need our plates from our die cutting. So I'm going to take my clear cutting plate. Now, a top tip, if you have these poly pockets that you would put your paperwork in, then what to do with one of these, if you cut the strip off, it fits perfectly within my plate. But what it does is, if you're cutting black card or coloured card, the fibres can get embedded within the plate. And then you go to a lighter coloured card and those fibres can transfer. This helps to prevent that. So if I want to cut white card, I'll use this pocket. And if I want to cut black card, then I'll use a separate pocket. Next, I'm going to take my piece of card. There we go. So that's going there, and that is face up. Then I'm going to take my die and position that face down. Next, I'm going to take my plastic shim. Now, when you're positioning your die on your plate, sometimes it's easier if you can sort of turn it at a bit of an angle. Okay, so just different ideas. I know the pressure on my machine, exactly how it works, and I'm going to get a beautiful cut doing it this way. But you may need to just tilt it slightly so that it goes in at an angle. So I'm going to turn that round there, keep that nice and straight for ease. Then I've got my plastic shim. Then I have my magnetic shim. You may need a couple of extra shims. I had a couple of sheets of extra paper in there, but again, you will know the pressure of your machine. So now we can run it through our die cutting machine. So just pop that in there. But what I love is that you get beautiful 10 frames through one pass of the machine. And what I do is I keep all of mine, I'll show you in a moment, I keep all of mine in a folder so that if I just want to use one or two of them, then this is great. So let's have a look now. I'm going to bring in my little waste bin to the side. I'm going to open up my sandwich. Then the sheet also allows me to then just lift it over. Lots of static on this one. Bring that into play there. Okay, then I've got a nice frame. Oh look, they're falling out already. I've got a nice frame that I can use on another piece of artwork. Then I'm going to turn this over. Now, what I find, I use this tool. This is a tool in one. And if you go along and you just run the brush all the way around, what it does, it helps release the die. Look, there we go. They're all falling out already. Oh, look, loads of them. 10 different frames. It cleans the die at the same time. But if you haven't got one of these, then you could use an old toothbrush or even a new toothbrush. There we go. And they're all coming out there. And then when we have a look at the design, we can see I just use my little brush just to release the little bits and pieces because they're not stuck in. Look, they just fall out. Okay, so you tidy all those up, and then what I do is I keep all of mine in a folder. So I've got my squares, I've got my circles, and I've used our beautiful designer papers, and I've written the name of the paper that I've used. So if I wanted to do more of the same, then I know what sheet I've used. So let's take, for example, the beautiful Northern Lights. Let's take this collection out and show you what you can do with them. So you can use them as frames, exactly as it says on the packet. Or if I bring in one of my card blanks I've created, I can take, for example, this one here and pop that around the outside. So that adds a really nice decorative element. I could take one a little bit smaller and bring that in. No, you could even, let's go that way. See, with the designer papers, you get some beautiful contrast and looks. Then I'd have my stamped image or my die cut image, my parchment image in the middle. But what I can also do, I can take the die of the same design and I can lay that over the top of the aperture I've created. And then what that means is that I still get the color coming. Oh, look, there's one I've missed there. Let's just pop that one out. There we go. Just pop that on there. So should we have a look at some artwork that our fantastic design team have done, just to give you some ideas and inspiration on what you can do with it. So here's some squares. So it's using a combination of the aperture die with the frames, exactly how I've just shown you. Another piece there. Take the individual frames and offset them to get a different look. Another combination of one of our other dies, and then the aperture and the frames together. So that's some squares. Then let's have a look at some circles. Combining both the circles and the squares together, the designs all work perfectly. Then we've got another one here. This has been using our nested circles. So they've been designed to work perfectly with our nested circles and squares. This is beautiful, this one, using the aperture and then the frames. Quick and easy to create. And this one of my favorite ones, just taking the circles to create something very fresh and funky and modern. So I hope that's given you a bit of an insight into our beautiful Nested Doodle Frame It collection. And if you require any more information, then just check out check out the website, claritystamp.com, for more information. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.